And the river still shines and shimmers in the light as it did in our grandfather's day, when they rode all night to fish in the morning and lived in Willapa Bay.
Our next breeder, and we're so happy he's back after his awful accident and back at Fisher Poets, Joel Brady-Power from Bow, Washington. Joel first went to sea aboard his father's fishing boat at 2 weeks old. He took the helm when he was 22, and he and his sweetheart, Tella, have been manning the Nurka since 2006. Joel has fished crab, salmon, halibut, black cod, and tuna. We heard about the tuna. One trip from California to Southeast Alaska, and has been attending the Fisher Poets Gathering since 2012. Welcome, Joel.
Can you hear me? Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to get a little real with you guys here tonight. For those of you who know me, you know that this last year has been a lot. And for those of you who don't, this last year has been a lot. I'm not going to say a lot more about that. I'm just going to let the piece tell the story. But before I start, I just want to say that I'm going to say a whole bunch of words. It's a long piece. And I'm going to go straight into a song. And the song is not my own, but it's a song that meant a lot to me during my recovery. And it's called Until I'm Whole. And it was written by John Darnielle and the Mountain Goats. My piece is called Never the Same. I think I'll stay here until I feel whole again. I don't know when. On the way to our bedroom, there was a tapestry tacked to the wall, a square within a square. Alternating pink and yellow lines radiate out from the center like sun rays. The words stitched across the fabric are at eye level from my wheelchair. I'm gonna make it through this year if it kills me. It's the first song I learn when I pick up my guitar, and I sing it to myself every morning. On my good days, I believe it. The moment I lost control still visits me in the night. A ghost from the graveyard of memories I would just as soon forget. My body tenses, braces, and recoils. I can taste the terror. I can feel the impact. I can hear the moment when violence became silence. A sudden and undeniable realization. My feet are gone. I'm thinking about Measy writing about going to sea to feel grounded when the doctor tells me that my feet aren't to touch the ground for the next 3 months. I stare at him in disbelief. Will I be able to fish this summer? He stares back, equally dumbfounded. No. For weeks after surgery, I wake up in the morning, stare down at my bandaged feet, and crumble. Blubbering and belligerent, tears in my eyes, rage in my heart. I don't want to be here. I asked Tella to hide the pain meds where I can't reach them. I'm going to make it through this year if it kills me. The next 3 months are a blur. The next 3 months are chaos. The next 3 months are heartwarming, heartbreaking, beautiful, and ugly, and devastating. For the next 3 months, I will not sleep. The nerve pain is a fire that is lit every night and only subsides as the sun rises. I get used to it after a while and just lay there in the dark. A former captain's gravelly voice growling in my head. Plenty of time to sleep when you're dead. Easy for you to say. When our fleet mates begin prepping for the season, I try to stand for the first time. My atrophied legs are unable to support me, and I teeter precariously like a greenhorn trying to find their footing on deck, and then slump back into my wheelchair, defeated. When our fleet mates head north, I graduate to crutches. I drive myself to physical therapy for the first time. I will wear out many crutch and cane feet over the coming months, trying to reclaim my life. And I will pay the price. 1 step forward, 3 steps back. When our fleet mates are chasing king salmon on the fair weather grounds, I visit the boat for the first time. Barn swallows have nested under the tarp. The deck is covered in bird shit. There is a garden growing off of the keel that I'm pretty sure is tethered to the bottom. The prop is so overgrown with barnacles that when we go to move her, the boat barely budges. She will not turn. We have to hire a diver. When our fleet mates return home in the fall, I am walking with a cane. I push myself to hike into the mountains, trying to regain my life. But I push too far, and I pay the price. 1 step forward, 3 steps back. This dizzying dance between hope and despair disorients and exhausts me. And yet, it could have been so much worse. It could be so much worse. I hated this notion in the early days. Yeah, it can always be worse. But isn't this bad enough? In time, I came to see the truth in it. A day after my crash, a friend of mine's friend of 40 years died in an accident eerily similar to my own. I spent a little over 3 months in a wheelchair. My dad's ex-wife has spent her life in one after being thrown from a horse. I have plenty of food to eat. I have shelter. I have clean water to drink. There are no bombs falling on my neighborhood. And no one bombs the hospital where I go for the last visit with my surgeon, where he tells me the bones have healed. The rest of my recovery is on me. There are moments in our lives that leave us forever changed. There is no going back to before, because that time and that person no longer exists. I am trying to embrace this. I am trying to learn how to inhabit this new incarnation of me with grace, compassion, and curiosity. And even on the good days, it's fucking hard. But it's you, my community, that have carried me. The meals left on our doorstep, the letters of love and support, the friends who came and sat with me on my darkest days and just let me be where I was. You were the light I looked to from the depths of my despair, an illuminated path through the breakers, a flicker of hope in the dark. I don't know how to properly thank you, but you have given me the courage and the will to stay here until I feel whole again. I don't know when. Sunset on Snohomish, burn the tree line down, hold my hopes underwater, stand there and watch them drown, fishing out their bodies from the bathroom sink, leave them in a bucket until they start to stink. I think I'll stay here until I feel whole again. I don't know when. Trout swim past the fishing lines. The sky gets dark and close. And cars start up and make their nightly exodus. On a picnic bench alone, watch the lake go dark. Dig my nails into my hands. Hope it leaves a mark. I think I'll stay here until I feel whole again. I don't know when. Thanks, guys.
The fire burns bright in the farmhouse fireplace. Closing the logbook, you start to sing. Fishing boats are iced in, snow outside calls me. It's a red late afternoon, I hear a church bell ring.
So I'm very lucky to have Mary with us. Mary presented last night at FisherPoets Gathering. And Mary, I so enjoyed your performance. Can you tell me more about your work?
It's not really work the way I do it. They just sort of come to me and I just write them down. That's about it. And I see all these people really, really work. And I feel guilty because I'm not really, really working. But I think there's stories out there or people out there that want to be talked about or that they want to give us their stories. So like I have a song about a boarding house lady up there and canneries and some women, not probably half and half, men and women, but some of the shore things as well. Mm-hmm. I think very important.
Well, Mary, you're lucky that they'll just come to you and you can share them with all of us. What would you like to share with other people about the FisherPoets Gathering and why they should come and maybe tips?
Yeah, definitely should come, and it's a great amount of fun. The weather this year is perfect. It's been snowing and icing before, but it's perfect this year, and it's just incredible history. And you have to sort of look for where stuff is because it's sort of spread out. But there's stuff in the library, stuff in probably the Maritime Museum still, I think. And down at Pier 39, there's a lot of stuff in the center part of town. It's just really great, and some of the places have food and drink as well. It doesn't get better.
Mary, anything else you want to share with us?
No, I'm just very honored to be here. I'm not really a fisher myself. The greatest respect. I've worked in fisheries research and have some, I lived in Newfoundland, so I got a lot of experience there. But I'm not exactly a fisher. I'm not at all. I would last 5 minutes on a boat and I'd be swept overseas even if it was calm.
Mary, thank you so much for sharing your time with us today.
Thank you.
Take care.